Hey everybody, and welcome back to Black Map VR. In today's video, we have another interesting topic of discussion centered around the virtual reality world, and that's how VR will change the clothing retail market forever. Shopping malls mainly exist around the sale of clothing, and why are they still important? I think the reason is because they can offer something that online retail can't, and that is the ability to take your purchases home the same day and to try on clothing. So what will this relationship look like going forward? Let's talk about the first one of our two right now, and that is the ability to take your purchases home the same day. I think this is probably going to be an issue that's taken off the table within the next decade. I think that same-day delivery will be the norm in American households in the next decade. And I think that we can see that that's the way that the market is going, because Amazon has two-day shipping, and that used to be blazing fast, and everyone was in love with it. But now the market's demanding even more, faster shipping. People hate waiting around to get what they purchased in the mail. And the first company that comes up with a sustainable same-day delivery system will make a killing in the market because there's definitely a demand for it. We've already seen companies finding new and innovative ways to deliver faster. Amazon's creating its own fleet of trucks and is rumored to be creating its own fleet of airplanes to do their own logistics. Google, we've seen some new patents in the news for drone delivery. Companies are starting to realize that it's no longer enough just to make a great product. You are going to lose out to your competitors if your competitors can get that product to the customer's door faster than you can. So that's the first thing that physical retail stores have over online shopping or virtual reality shopping, as we'll be talking about. The second thing is that online does not give you the ability to try on clothing, and that's important. And I think there's three subpoints underneath that make it so important. The first one is fit. Every brand is different in the way that their clothing fits, and it's really annoying. One thing that virtual reality would bring to this space would be that virtual reality would allow you to upload an avatar with your exact measurements, and for the retail store to upload their shirts with the exact measurements. And so you can see an exact fit rather than just an estimation off of a chart or off of a picture of somebody on an Amazon.com. It's really frustrating to see a shirt, as I do often on the internet, to buy it and to get it there, and it's too small in the shoulders or too small in the chest, or it's too tight and you just don't like it and you end up sending it back, or it just sits around in your house and you never get rid of it. And VR can make great strides in remedying that problem. I think there's also an opportunity here for retailers to sell more clothing. I don't know if you're like me, but when I go into a store and I try on maybe 10 things, 15 things, I get tired of going back and forth to the fitting room, collecting things that I think I might like. That's not going to be a problem if you can upload a shirt onto an avatar and see how it looks in virtual reality, because you'll be able to change clothing like that. There's no walking around searching the shelves for your size. They'll be able to pull it immediately, and you'll be able to try on perhaps hundreds of pieces of clothing, and that's definitely an opportunity for retailers to sell more product. Another thing that VR can offer is that it can allow you to see a particular item of clothing on you as an individual. This is going to get better and better as the graphics in virtual reality get better and better. But this is kind of a subjective measurement, but it doesn't mean that it's not important. You may have liked a shirt when you viewed it on Old Navy's website or Gap's website, but it may have been on a model that was 6'5" and buff and had great hair. And when you put it on yourself, you're like, I just don't like this as much. It doesn't look as good. So individually, fit and look matter, and VR can offer a remedy when it comes to online retail in that space. Think about color as well. Sometimes you see a shirt on a website, it looks like it's one color, and they put it on a model and it looks great, but you get it home and it's a totally different color and maybe doesn't match your favorite shoes, or maybe it clashes with your skin tone and just doesn't look nearly as good as it did when you viewed it over the intrawaves. And so virtual reality can go a long way in remedying that problem when you can upload your exact look and the exact colors from your world and view the shirt in its actual color against the backdrop of your colors. And all that being said, I think there's really one big hurdle for virtual reality to overcome if it's going to break into this space, and that's touch and the ability to feel texture. Imagine a man who's shopping for a really nice suit. He may have the right fit, it may be tailored very well. He may like the way that he looks in it as an individual, But if it doesn't feel right, if the texture's wrong, if the fabric isn't something that he likes, he's not going to pull the trigger. Different fabrics hang differently. I know this is true definitely with like dress pants, men's slacks. Some are flexible, some are stiff, some, the weight varies on them, and that matters. Am I going to buy a heavy pair of pants to wear in the summer? No. So if VR does want to compete in this market, that's something that they have to remedy through technology, and they're actually making great strides to do that already. I don't know if you've heard of the haptic gloves, and there's other gloves out there, but these gloves are designed to allow you to interact with a virtual world. Feeling and having your fingers stop when you touch an item, and even feeling weight in that item for items that only exist in the virtual world and not in reality. I really think this is what the future looks like as far as shopping goes, clothing-wise. And I think we're probably going to be at a point soon when people just sit on their couch to go shopping instead of going to the mall, and all the malls will be put out of business. You think about it, shopping in a virtual world removes all the hassle of the crowds or commuting to the mall, and also from walking. You don't have to walk around the mall, you don't gotta go dig through all the messy racks. When you request an item or see an item and select your size, the virtual store can pull that item up immediately, tell you if it's in stock, and ship it to your house same day. Not only that, but it'll probably also drive down the cost of clothing, because when a retailer doesn't have to pay the massive price for overhead and maintenance to have a physical store, well, clothing prices can go down. It's easier for them to make a profit. One thing I think is really exciting, and maybe a career opportunity of the future, is that this is going to open up a whole new way of thinking about advertising and marketing. Advertisers and marketers know how to draw people's attention to a physical store, on the side of the highway or on the road, but how do you draw someone's attention to a virtual store? How does a brand get any kind of brand visibility when they're in this new virtual space? It's not going to be by having a fancy, shiny sign or by having the best real estate anymore. The dynamics are just going to be totally different, and I think it's very exciting. So although this may seem futuristic, there are people who are working on all of these pieces of technology right now and are really making progress. And so I don't think that we should think of this as something that's not going to be seen within our lifetime. I think it's something that's probably going to be seen within the next decade. And it's super exciting to think about the new jobs, the jobs of the future that will exist in this kind of a market. So as the world turns to VR, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We do new VR content at least 3 times a week. I'm actually going to do a feature video of those haptic gloves that I mentioned and kind of give you more of the details about how those work and how they allow you to interact with a virtual world. Share the video, leave some comments down below if you can think of any other ways that retail, especially clothing, is going to be changed in the future by VR. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.